They always said I'm wrong, but what they doing today? I think they want me gone, but I ain't going away. They told me I was wrong, but look at my ass today. Da 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 da.
Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim for the NFL Final Score on the Real Sports Talk Network 415 edition. If you want to go see the 1 o'clock edition, that is on our channel as well at youtube.com/Mr. Kelstar. Steelers, this is the first game. Steelers defeat the Jets 27-10. The Jets got off to a quick 7-0 start, and after that, the offense went cold. Mark Sanchez played well in that first possession, but after that he had no completions to Jets receivers after the first quarter, I should say, the rest of the game. Tim Tebow had one nice run, but was terrible blocking. I mean, I honestly, I don't understand what they think they're accomplishing by having him on the special teams. He almost allowed a guy to get through and block a punt. Other than that, I mean, not a ton from the Jets. Mark Sanchez is going to have to come back and have a solid game next week, because if he doesn't, you're going to start hearing about Tim Tebow. It was nice for them to get that Week 1 win, but the bottom line is that it was against a Bills team that we're not sure how good they are, and one win is one win. If you're 1-2, that's still not the start you're looking for, so he's going to have to come back next week and play pretty well. From the Steelers side of things, Big Ben was solid. The running game, really not very effective. They're trying Isaac Redman, a few other guys, Jonathan Dwyer. Really did not get a ton going. They're going to hopefully get Rashard Mendenhall back sometime during the season, because what they have there right now is not going to cut it if this team wants to make a playoff run. Steelers improve in this one. Jets drop 2-1-1. Second game, the Seahawks defeat the Cowboys 27-7. The Cowboys had a 10-day layoff prior to this game after winning the NFL's opening game against the Giants. They fall in this one 27-17. Russell Wilson was solid for the Seahawks, 15-20, only 151 yards, but he wasn't asked to do a ton. He didn't turn the ball over, really. Marshawn Lynch kills it with 126 rushing yards, and as usual, the Seahawks defense was able to be pretty solid in this game. I think they are a top 5 defense. Tony Romo was not terrible for the Cowboys, a touchdown and a pick, but they were playing from behind a lot of this game. And for the Cowboys to be successful, it's when DeMarco Murray is also a part of things, and he wasn't able to get a ton of carries today because they were playing from behind for pretty much the whole game. So DeMarco Murray was taken out of this game for the most part. The Chargers defeat the Titans 38-10. Phillip Rivers throws 3 touchdowns. Running game, not one player really took over, but between Jackie Battle, Curtis Brinkley, and Ronnie Brown, and McLean as well, they were able to have a pretty solid game. Ryan Matthews did not come back in this game. He should be good to go for next week. We'll see how much of a workload they give him, but for sure I would expect him to be suited up and playing next week. Malcolm Floyd stepping in. This year he is the number 1 receiver with Vincent Jackson gone. He had over 100 yards on 6 catches. Solid game out of him. For the Titans, Jake Locker had a pretty average game, and Chris Johnson was just awful again. The first 2 weeks, Chris Johnson has been awful. Since he's gotten paid, really, he's been awful. And I don't even know what it is, because it's not that he's hit a wall because of age. Maybe it's because of motivation. I really don't know what's going on with Chris Johnson, but it looks like, and he could come back and be solid again next week, but it looks like he's done. That's my honest opinion of what I've seen out of Chris Johnson between last year and this year. Final game, and this was the best one out of the 4-15 games. The Rams defeat the Redskins 31-28. Sam Bradford had a huge game, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Dale Richardson and Steven Jackson had solid games on the ground, and Danny Amendola had a nice game, over 100 yards receiving for the St. Louis Rams. The Redskins side of things, RG3 didn't tear it up in the passing game, but he had a nice game. I mean, he is a smart quarterback. He does what Michael Vick does without making turnovers, without taking unnecessary hits. I mean, I think out of the 3 main Russian quarterbacks between Vic, Newton, and RG3, I really believe that RG3 is going to be the best quarterback out of all those guys. He had 82 rushing yards today, so a really solid performance out of him, not only passing, but rushing as well. And You know, he looks like that number 2 pick has paid off. And then some. Alfred Morris had a nice game again. Came out of nowhere. I mean, I think a lot of people felt like it was either going to be Evan Royster or Tim Hightower they had there earlier, and I can't think of the other running back's name who started there last year. But Alfred Morris has kind of come out of nowhere. That's been something that Mike Shanahan's been known for, is kind of pulling running backs out of nowhere sometime, even week to week. But Alfred Morris looks like he's establishing himself as their running back. The reason they lost this game, though, Josh Wilson made a catch, and it would have put them within a position where Billy Cundiff would add about a 48 or 49-yard field goal, which, I mean, who knows with Billy Cundiff, but you would assume a Pro Bowl kicker should make that kick or at least be close. What Josh Morgan does is Cortland Finnegan tries to pry the ball loose. Really, I didn't see anything too bad. He might have said something. You can't tell that from watching TV. But he tries to pry the ball loose. When Morgan gets up, he says something and then throws the ball at Cortland Finnegan, gets a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and the Redskins end up missing a 62-yard field goal to end the game. It could have been a game that they, at the very least, could have had a chance to send to overtime. Instead, they really had about zero chance to do that because of a stupid mistake by Josh Morgan. A really, really dumb mistake. You need to be smarter in that situation. A great week 2. I think it was even better than a solid week 1, especially the 1 o'clock games. You saw the Patriots fall to the Cardinals. The Eagles get a comeback win in a great game against the Ravens. I mean, the Giants had a great comeback win against the Buccaneers. Just a great overall NFL Sunday that gets capped off with what looks to be a tremendous game tonight between the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers, and it all leads into tomorrow night, Monday Night Football on ESPN. Falcons against Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos. We'll be back next week for the NFL Final Score. Check us out during the week with all your sports coverage on the Real Sports Talk Network.
Just a little bit around the corner from fear. Be there.